Hey guys, it's Emma back again with another book review. So today I want to dive straight into An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. I found this book at Barnes & Noble for $11.99. It's got around 500 pages, 446, and it is young adult, so it's pretty tame, but there are a lot of scenes where it's like questionable sexual assault and all this stuff. So there's the tiny little intro, but I want to get into this book. I did not know this was part of a series. It is. I just grabbed this book randomly. It looked pretty cool. The back of it looked good, so I picked it up. It is in this kingdom. Well, you can't really see. But the Empire has taken over basically the whole continent. Scholars are repressed. Scholars are people. The marshals are in charge. And there's this school for training these kids that are like masks. That's what they're called. They wear a silver mask that like sticks to their skin. And they're basically just like the best warriors. And this school is like the harshest school ever. So if you die, like they don't care. You weren't good enough then. So the story follows two people, Leia and Elias. Leia's a scholar. She's trying to find the rebels. Elias is a mask, and he goes to the school. So first off, there's already this divide between them. They haven't met. They're in different places, and somehow they end up coming together and finding each other and finding out that they're actually similar and not different. Elias hates the school. He hates what they stand for. He doesn't want to kill more people. But he gets chosen to keep being pushed further and further into power. And what does he do? Like, are you supposed to let yourself die for saving others? Because then no one else will push his knowledge. And the rebels, they have problems. So Leia entering there's a lot to weed out. Not everything is fixed in this book, obviously, because it's a series that I have now realized. But it's a really good start. Sabaa Tahir, her characters are really complicated and pretty. I love the world that she created. I like that it feels like a training boot camp school, and it's not some like fun Hogwarts getaway. Like, it's not. It's the people there are suffering, and the kids have been trained from a very young age to have no feelings or life. So it gets kind of deep. I did have a couple of problems with the book. I thought it had some really cliche parts to it. So I was just like, oh, of course. Yeah, whatever. But it was good writing. Also, Leia is a slave. She becomes a slave. And there is a lot of like torture, signs of torture, rape, and all this stuff. And you're like, dang. This world is pretty messed up. We don't really get to see it firsthand, thankfully. But towards the middle, I had to force myself to read it because it got slow, and then it got complicated, and then they would switch, because it's in both of their points of view, and it switches every chapter. So I would be like, dang it, now it's this person, and I don't know what's happening. Sometimes I feel like it gets in the way of the book, and it did a couple times here. Other times I think it can add, but it's a give and take. So An Ember in the Ashes has a pretty good message. The main character, Leia, she thinks she isn't good enough, and it's a cool aspect to see, because most of the books that I read, the female lead is badass, can do anything, but she's like, I don't know if I can save these people, because I've never done anything like that before. And look, like, she can be a normal person shoved into this lifestyle and do things. And then Elias, he's kind of the traditional, like, I don't want to be here, I want to change things, but I don't know how. So he's pretty normal. Again, they have a cool connection that isn't really flushed out in this book, which is good. It wasn't too rushed. The next book, I'm assuming, will have a lot more. And then there's a bunch of other characters. that might... They're kind of irrelevant. There's like 2 other characters that I'm thinking of that matter, but all the rest of them are pretty irrelevant, which is strange. So maybe they'll be brought more into the next books, but I'm not sure. Overall, this was a really good book. I thought that the world that was created and the kind of connection that they have and the difference between these 2 whole worlds that are actually colliding was pretty interesting. There's also some supernatural aspects. There's like ghouls, these creepy old people that can read your mind. So it's not just like fighting, it's also a tiny bit supernatural, not completely, but a little bit. I have a feeling that it'll be brought more into the next books. So she really blended the world together well. I like how there's a little bit of lore, there's a little bit of the past, and it ties right into this book, and it's a good read. If you enjoy Resistance, the basic school coming of age novels, 2 people meeting from many different factions and kind of falling in love or escaping their world, this is the book for you. Barnes & Noble, it's pretty cheap. That is all I have to say about this book. It was a good read, not my favorite, but it was a good read. So if you want to go pick it up, it's by Sabaa Tahir, An Ember in the Ashes. I just found it at Barnes & Noble. It's probably online. And tell me what you thought about it. Tell me if you've read it. Tell me if you have noticed anything that I did not. I love to hear it, and put it down in the comments below. Bye!